everyone. I'm so excited because today we are going to be doing my 2023 makeup empties. So if you guys are familiar with my channel, I do a lot of just regular product empties throughout the year. However, I like to save all of my makeup specific products for the very end of the year because I have a yearly goal to finish up a certain amount of products. And I have been doing this since I think 2020 was the first year I started doing this, and I have been doing it every year since, and it's always just one of those things that are so rewarding and something I really strive to reach my goal every single year. So for this year, with it being 2023, my goal was to use up 23 makeup products, and sometimes I also like to set like a bonus goal, so that's typically around like 30 products, which I believe is what I chose for this year. So 23 is like my hard goal I really want to meet, and then if I go above and beyond 30 is the one I like to hit. So I have not counted up what I've used this year, so we're gonna figure this out together, but I'm just gonna go through all of these products, let you know what I thought about them, whether I liked them or didn't like them, or powered through just to use them up, or things I would repurchase, all my thoughts on these. So let's get started and see how many makeup products I used in the year 2023. So starting off, I like to just go in the order that I like to do my makeup just to make it easier for me to remember what we've done and haven't done yet. So starting off, we are going to be going through the primers that I have used up this year. So starting off for my primers, I have of course used up the e.l.f. Power Grip, but not just one, I used up two of them. I think I discovered these around, I would say beginning of summer, and I just have not looked back since. I especially like these more in the summer months when it's really hot and my makeup's sweating off. This just like really gives my foundation something really like sticky and tacky to stick to, and I find that it just makes my foundation last so much more. I haven't been using it as much through the colder months just because I feel like I haven't needed it as much, but you best believe I have a backup on standby. So once I kind of feel like it starts warming up, probably around springtime, I will probably come back to that, and in the meantime I'm trying to work on some other primers that I would use up that I necessarily wouldn't get to use up in the summertime just because I am so dedicated to this primer. So I have used up two of these this year. Next up, I have used a few more e.l.f. primers. Now these are some small sample-y kind of ones, and I don't care that they are more of like a sample or travel size product. These definitely count for me. So I used up three of the little mini e.l.f. putty primers. So this was like a little set that I got that came with three different kinds. So we got the luminous putty primer here, so I used that one up. I have to say I didn't really care for this one too much. I don't really think that it added much luminosity to my skin or anything, so it wasn't really anything I would ever purchase again. Next up, we have the matte putty primer. This one was okay, but again, I typically don't like matte skin for me because I have very dry skin, so I kind of like to overcompensate with the luminous or the shimmer or satiny kind of finish type things to make up for my dry skin. So I don't really go for the matte too often. I did use this up. It was all right, but nothing again that I would purchase. And then finally we have just the original poreless putty. I would say for me personally, if I was going to repurchase any of these ones, I would get the original putty primer poreless one. That one was definitely my favorite out of all three of them, and I did like this one, but I kind of went back and forth between loving it and not necessarily like feeling like it was the best thing ever. But I could in the future see myself using up or purchasing another one of these, but it's not really that high on my radar. It could be something I'd just be like, oh yeah, I remember I liked that a little bit. Let's see what that's like again type of thing. But it's not really something that I feel like I must have. And I can't remember or not if I have another one or if I used that one up last time. I can't remember. Part of the problems with having a huge makeup collection, I kind of forget what I have at times. Now moving on, we are going to get into more of like the foundations, tinted moisturizers, BB creams, things all of that nature. All right, so the first one I used up, this is actually the most recent one that I used up in this year, and this was one I've had for a long time. It just sat around in my collection. I didn't really give it much of a chance, and then I came back to it and I was like, I actually really like this. So this is from Believe Beauty, and this is their Skin Finish Foundation, medium to full coverage. Mine is in the color Nude, and I felt like that was such a really good color. It almost looks like it would be a little bit dark for me, but it was honestly perfect, especially when I like to do a little bit of like a tan in the summertime. But I mean, honestly, I really enjoyed this, and it really truly did make my skin kind of just look like my skin. It didn't look like I was wearing a super heavy foundation, and I found that this one wore really well. And I think I got this at Dollar General. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's where Believe Beauty is sold. And I never ever really ever purchased from Dollar General, but I was in there at some point and decided to pick this up, and I think I tried it maybe once or twice and then like put it back in my collection and never looked at it again. And then about like 3 months ago or so, I just pulled it out and was like, okay, we're going through my foundations. I'm not gonna get any more foundations till I use up some, because that was one of those things. I went on a crazy purchasing spree for a while, so I have definitely got to finish them out. But I love that this one has a pump. I love any type of foundation that has a pump because it just makes it so much more convenient. It does look like there's a lot of foundation left in here, but there's absolutely nothing, and I can't really scrape it out too well because obviously the opening is not very big, so I'm sure there is some foundation in here, but I pretty much got everything that I could. So in the end, this is definitely a product I want to go and get another one of these relatively soon, but again, I'm still working on using up things, so I don't want it to be the same situation of like, this is going to just sit in my collection for 8 months before I pick it up again. So I'm just going to try to like make a mental note of this, or keep a notes kind of list in my phone just to remember to at some point purchase this again, because I definitely want to get this one again. And I feel like the color nude was perfect. So in the future, if I'm looking at this video to remember what I wanted, nude is the color I want. All right, the next foundation that I used up, this one was kind of like a big popular one a few years ago, and this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I think I, no joke, have maybe like 3 more of this one. Not the specific color or this specific formula. I think they had one that was like the matte formula, and I think they had one that was like a semi-dewy formula, and I think I had 2 colors in each one. So this is just the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in Shell Ivory. I remember I did really like this foundation because it really was one of those like full coverage foundations, and it was super affordable. I think it was probably, don't quote me, I feel like it was around $6, $7, $8 or something, which for the drugstore now is actually pretty reasonably priced considering how crazy prices have gone up. And this foundation always kind of reminded me of the Revlon Color Stay type of foundations. Those I used to use a lot in high school because it was like one of the most high coverage foundations I could find at the drugstore. But I remember that stuff getting up to like $16, $17, $18, and I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. For that price, I could like go get a high-end brand for that. But I always remember that this one really reminded me of that. So the actual container has like this scooper spatula type thing. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't. I don't know. I haven't quite figured out how I feel about this. I do like it because I feel like you can kind of get more out of the product than like if you just had a pump. But the other thing to remember about this foundation, and I don't know if it's still like this or if they've reformulated it or not, but it has a very strong like paint kind of smell, which was definitely how the Revlon Color Stay one was as well. I remember that one just having such a strong scent. So that is definitely something, if you cannot do with a strong scent, you would not, yeah, you would not want to use this foundation because it's crazily strong. All right, moving on to the next product. This is a Korean foundation. Now this came in a really cute set that I'm pretty sure I probably did a haul video or review on, but it's from the Korean brand 3CE, and this one came in this cute little pink box that looked like a little pink hotel, and it was so adorable. I absolutely bought it for the packaging and all of that, but this is called their Cream Full Foundation, and of course it kind of reminded me of like Grand Budapest, which I think is what they were going after. So this was the foundation, and it was one that I would like pick up at times, and I would use it for a few weeks, and I'd put it back down, and then, you know, it'd sit around for 5 months, and I'd pick it back up again and stuff like that. So I didn't really use this one super consistently until the very, very end of it, and I did really like this foundation. It did have more of like a soft, velvety kind of feeling to it, with not being like a super luminous type of BB cream foundation. I do remember the color of this one being slightly deeper. I think if you can see, there is just a little bit here left. It was just a little bit more on the slightly orangey side, which is kind of surprising because most Korean foundations tend to be more like gray toned. So, but I did really like this one. I don't think I would repurchase it because I don't even know if they make this anymore, and I think it was a little bit more on the pricey side, so I enjoyed it for what it was, and I love the packaging of it. I think it's so cute, but I don't think I would purchase this one again. Okay, so next up is another Korean BB cream type of product. This is from the brand Bosta or Busta. I can't remember. I remember doing doing a video on this one too, and this is called their Perfect Cover BB Cream in the color Light Beige, and I thought this was so cool because it came in this little foil packet. If you remember like way back in the day, like I'm talking like, shoot, maybe like 2010, 2009, I think that the first brand I'd ever seen do this type of packaging, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was either like Stila or it was Cargo, and I can't remember which one, but they used to do foundations like this, and I always thought, I was like, that makes so much sense, because even though it is plastic, number one, you can get every last bit of your makeup out of this. It even has like a little thing on here where it says cut the tip off and use all of it, and I thought that was so great. I would have to say this is probably more of a minimal amount of packaging waste at the end of this than it is like, I mean, obviously glass can be recycled and everything, but I mean, there's so many makeup products that don't even make it to the recycling process that it doesn't matter if glass is recyclable, because if it's not going to get recycled, it doesn't matter. So I always kind of thought this was an interesting concept of what if we like all move to this type of makeup packaging. I don't really remember the product so much, so I definitely don't think I would buy this again. I'm pretty sure I got this from either Sweet Korea or roseroseshop.com. I don't think they sell these anymore though, but I thought they were really interesting, and they're also like lip products that were packaged in the same type of way, but just like slightly smaller. And I always just thought the packaging was very interesting, and I wondered, would this be a better alternative for makeup packaging in the future? All right, next up, I used another sample type product, but you guys, it's hard to even call this like a sample because this lasted me easily like at least a month. So this is from She Glam, and this was their Skinfluencer Full Coverage Foundation Balm. So I think that this kind of was bigger more like in the summertime, and it was supposed to be similar to like the KVD Good Apple Foundation Balm thing. So I think that was kind of like what they were going for this one. Mine was in the color Chantilly, and I can't remember how much these little sample things were, these little sample pans. I think they might have been under $1. I am not sure. But you guys, honestly, if you were wanting, number one, if you're wanting to like try this product, absolutely just get the sample of it. And then you actually, how long this lasts me, I'm not kidding. I use this a lot more in the summertime, and I got easily a month of use out of this. I still have a couple more different shades because I bought several of them to try to figure out like what color I was going to be. And I still have those that I'm going to probably be using like next time in like spring or summertime when I want a little bit more of like lighter coverage and stuff like that. So I actually definitely really enjoyed this product. I do have one of the full sizes, but again, I want to use up all like the samples and everything before I move on to that. But honestly, if you guys are wanting to try this out, honestly just get one of the samples because it will last you surprisingly amount of time. All right, and then the final foundation that I used up, this is another cream product, and if you guys remember from when I went through like my huge like 3-year K-beauty stint, I was buying a lot of K-beauty products, and one of the things that were very common that I would see are cushion foundations. So this is one that I got, and this is from the brand Misha, which is one of my favorite K-beauty BB cream brands, and this was their Magic Cushion Moisture. I'm not gonna lie, I have so many cushion foundations I still need to use up, but I really like because there's a spot to put your little sponge there, and then there is the actual cushion here. So one of the things about the cushion foundations is I feel like they last forever just because there's so much foundation like in the little sponge pad in there that if you just keep flipping it over, it's kind of like it self-replenishes itself. And so it really felt like it took forever for me to use this up, and it even still doesn't look empty just because of the sponge there is obviously like still kind of caked on with a little bit of foundation, but obviously there is only so much you can get out of here, and you can even do refills on this too. So one part of me is kind of wanting to keep the packaging of this just because you can do refills, but I do have several other cushion ones that are very cute, and I'd probably keep over this one, but I did use this one up. I really did like this one. Mine was in the color number 21. I kind of almost feel like I could go for the 23 color. I really enjoyed this one. I don't think I would purchase this one again just because I found that I don't really love a cushion foundation, and of course I went through this phase of buying so many of them. Spoiler alert, I did just buy another cushion foundation for the first time in years, but it was absolutely because the packaging was so cute. You'll probably see that after this video, so that is just a little hint for you guys, but I probably wouldn't purchase this one again, but I did really enjoy it. Okay guys, so next moving on, this is more of like a color correcting type category. I only have one product for this, but this was a product I've had in my collection for a long time, and again, again, I pulled it out and it was like, hey, let's use this. And I have not gone back from using this type of product since. So this, I'm sure they do not sell anymore. I'm sure it's been a long time since they have sold it, but it was the e.l.f. color correcting pen. And this one was like in the kind of like a peachy kind of color. And this was perfect for doing under my eyes before I did my concealer to cancel out any dark under eyes. I used to not have dark circles under my eyes, but I don't know if it's age, I don't know if it's stress, I don't know what it is, but your girl's got some dark circles to cover up now. So this was like the absolute perfect product for this. And if they do not sell this anymore, which I'm pretty sure they don't, I really hope they come back with this because I love that it's just one of those little clicky pins and I can just dab it under my eyes and then tap it in with my finger. I don't need like a separate brush to dip into like an eye brightening pot. Those I just feel like are a little more like work just because obviously I have to have like a separate brush, and this is just built in, just go boom, 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 and you're done. And I loved it so, so much. So unfortunately, like I said, I don't think they sell this anymore. I do have a product that is my kind of replacement for it, which I will be talking about soon. I think it's from LA Girls, and it's kind of like a similar thing, but it's in more of like a squeezy tube type product, but it still has the brush tip. I do like that one, but the color for it is a little bit too dark for me. So I need to see if they either have a lighter color, but I have been like using a foundation mix and drop to kind of lighten it, which works out pretty well, but it's just one extra step. So I wish that they would bring this back because I remember loving it so, so much. So unfortunately, they don't have this one anymore, I don't think. So the first thing, now unfortunately this is not a true like used up, like all the product is gone, but I tried my absolute best to use this up. And unfortunately it's just one of those things where the product got too old and I couldn't use it anymore. But this was the e.l.f. HD blush. Again, these are so old. I don't even know when they stopped selling these. I really loved this color though, and I'm so sad that it got too old. This one was in the color Headliner. This is like the perfect cheek color for me. I love the packaging of it. It had like the little vacuum seal that you squeeze it out and it pushes all the product up so you can get every last bit of the product out of it. If there's any contention, I will not count that one, but I did throw it in here. So there is my disclaimer for that one. I do have to say I loved this blush though. I really liked the packaging of it most over the like doe foot applicator type ones that seem to be very popular now. But unfortunately they don't sell it anymore, so it is what it is. All right, next is another K-beauty product. Again, super old. I don't want to hear it. This, I'm pretty sure I did a review on several years ago. This is from Holika and it's called the Face to Change Roller V Shading. So basically what this is, if you've never seen a product like this, it's kind of very different. So what it looks like, it's this little tiny, almost like a little tiny spongy paint roller. And they made this like in foundation form. They made it in a highlighter form, and this is the contour one. So this one, there's like a little button on the side. You push the button and it would disperse the product up through the bottom of the sponge, and then you like roll it onto your face and then you blend it in. It was definitely more of a gimmicky type of product. The contour color or shading color in here was a little bit more on the lighter transparent side, so it wasn't like this thick full coverage kind of color, which made it easier for blending in, but I felt like it just wasn't enough coverage and I'd have to kind of go through several passes, and of course it just kind of feels a little funny and you don't really have as much control with it being this type of like wide roller and stuff. I mean, if you kind of went sideways you could do it like that to kind of get a little bit more control. Overall, it was fun for what it was, but it was a little bit more on the gimmicky side, so I definitely would not purchase this again, but I'm so glad I used it up. And like I was saying with like makeup packaging, I just feel like there's so much like plastic and packaging on this, and it's like honestly something like this just feels so much more eco-friendly in my opinion. Those are just my uneducated thoughts. Okay, so moving on to some more eye products now. Now this is a cream eyeshadow that I have used up, and again this is another Korean brand. So this is from, I think it's from Apu, and this is called their Eye Mousse. This is just like a whipped kind of cream eyeshadow. I know it looks like there's still a lot in here, but you guys, I've scraped this and there's just barely anything left. This was just like a matte cream eyeshadow that you could blend out and wear on the eyes, which I have really gotten into. And now I've used this up and I have a product that I love so much more in place of this. It is the About Face Matte Fluid Eye Paints. That's what I'm wearing today on my eyes. I love them so much, and it's like a way better version of this, so I definitely wouldn't purchase this again. This one was in the color Daily Mocha. This was a really good, kind of like this crease color that I got on. It was very similar to that, and I liked it, but I just felt like it wasn't as pigmented, and the About Face ones are absolutely my favorite, so I definitely wouldn't purchase this one again. I think I got it for like $3 or $4, which was nice because the Halsey ones are a little bit more expensive, but I did get recently a few more of them on sale, so another sneak peek for a future video. All right, moving on to some eyeliners. These are some of my favorite types of eyeliners for liquid liner, and I have used up 3, so I'm just gonna go rapid fire through these because I enjoyed all of them with the exception of one, and I don't know if some of these I would buy again or not. So first off, starting off, we have the KVD Dagger liner. So this one is very similar to the tattoo liner that they have, but this one has like an angled type of calligraphic brush, which is not my favorite because I found it was a little bit harder. It was easy for doing the wings, but when I was trying to do the rest of my eyeliner, I just really didn't enjoy the like angledness to it. So if I was going to get another one of these, I would definitely get the Trooper tattoo liner rather than the Dagger liners. So I used that one up. I enjoyed it. I liked it, but I just didn't love the shape of the brush as much as the other one. Again, this one is another similar type product. This one does have like that calligraphic style brush tip pin, which is my all-time favorite. I used to love the felt tips. I don't know how I ever use those because now if I try to go back to those, I'm like, no, give me a brush tip pin. So this one is from Hank and Henry. It's called the Slick With It, and this one is in the color Blickety Black. I'm pretty sure I got this in a BoxyCharm, so this one sat around for a while, but I finally used it up. I really enjoyed it. I don't think I would purchase it again just because I feel like in the most recent years, a lot of brands have been coming out with these types of products for way less, and they are just as good. So I don't really feel the need to buy the more expensive ones anymore, especially with this one just coming from my BoxyCharm box. So it's not like I went and picked this one out, but I did enjoy it, and I have completely used it up. And if you've also been a viewer of my channel for a while, you know that I do have a K-Beauty favorite one from Misha. It's called their Natural Fix Brush Pen Liner. I love that one. I've probably used about 4 or 5 of those, maybe even more in my entire life, and I love them. I just haven't repurchased those in a while because I have had all of these random ones that I've been wanting to use up out of my collection. But the Misha Natural Fix Brush Pen Liner, all-time favorite liquid eyeliner for doing my winged liners and everything like that. So I will definitely buy more of those in the future, but again, wanted to kind of get rid of all of these random things that I had. So this next one, again, like I was saying how cheaper brands are coming out with good ones, this was one I actually think I got from TJ Maxx from like their little makeup department, and it was just kind of like one of those random brands you've never heard of and you're just like, $4.99 for eyeliner? Sure, I'll try that. So this one is from the brand Absolute New York. It's the Waterproof Insanely Black Flex Brush eyeliner. Again, it's got that brush tip liner that I love. This one was okay, but I felt like the lasting power wasn't as good on this one, but it was very black. I just felt like it would kind of fade throughout the day, and especially with this one being like a waterproof formula, I definitely don't agree with that. So this one got me through and I liked it, but I definitely wouldn't buy this one again. But there are lots of brands that do pretty good ones, so I think I'll just try another brand and see how I like that one. And I can't remember exactly, but I feel like this one didn't last as long. I felt like it kind of dried up a little bit on the quicker side, but still lasted for a pretty good amount of time. Okay guys, we are getting down to it. We are moving on to the next category, which is mascara. And I have used up 3 mascaras this year. I am going to admit, I am definitely a person who probably uses their mascara longer than they're supposed to, but I just feel like mascara is one of those things where it seems like it never truly runs out, and it's kind of like, you know, I'm using a mascara for 4 months and I'm like, wow, this is still going. Should I like keep using this? I know they say you're supposed to throw out your mascara, you know, every 2 to 3 months. Girlfriend ain't doing that. Mascara gets expensive. I'm using it till I feel like I need to throw it out. So this year I've used up 3. So of course I feel like the most viral mascara, we will say, of 2023 was absolutely the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift mascara, obviously from Miss Michaela, who may or may not have false advertisingly posted this all over her social media. Was I influenced to try it? Yes, but it was probably about a month or 2 after that whole drama that I finally decided I wanted to try it. And I have heard some people say like, oh my gosh, this is the best mascara I've ever tried. And then I've seen some people say like, oh my god, I hate this mascara. I was kind of in the middle, leaning towards the, it's not my favorite, but I'll keep using it because it was like $15. I'm going to use up every last bit of it I can. So for me, it basically came down to the brush that I didn't like. It's one of those like little plastic bristle brushes, but it kind of has like a little bit of like a spoon shape, and then it has like a flat side of bristles, which I just didn't love. It's kind of like you're supposed to like comb through your lashes. I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy this one, and I would not purchase this one again. Kind of a little salty that I got influenced to, you know, a mascara that I didn't love, but it is what it is. All right, next up, this is one, I'm pretty sure I got this from BoxyCharm. This is from Iconic London, and I don't even know the name. Triple Threat Mascara. Yeah, in black. This one, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really have many thoughts on this one. I can't remember. Again, it's one of those ones that has like the really short stubby bristles, which I find are really good for like getting at the base of your lashes and then like wiggling it up. But I feel like this one was a little bit on the clumpy side, and it just kind of like stuck my lashes together. So I definitely wouldn't purchase this one. And again, like I said, I think I got this from BoxyCharm, and they tend to put a lot of Iconic London's things in their boxes when I was subscribed, so I had a whole bunch of things from them, and I never realized that they were a little bit more of an expensive brand, but I totally would never purchase this mascara. Just was not my jam. And then the last one I got, this is another Believe Beauty product, so I think I got this the same time that I got that foundation, and this one's just called their Extended Lash Lengthening Mascara, and for this one, has another rubber bristle brush. Now this one I didn't mind as much because it has a lot more finer teeth, like it's kind of got like two different layers. It's got like a longer layer of bristles and a shorter one, which I felt like it was really good for separating. So I actually thought this was a pretty decent mascara. Again, my thoughts aren't super strong on this one though, but I would definitely pick this one up again if I was just happened to be there and I was like, oh, I need a mascara. I would pick this one up. For me, mascara 99% comes down to the brush, and most mascaras do the same thing for me. So unless I just truly absolutely hate the brush, most mascaras are okay in my book. That, or unless they just like smear or crumble really, really bad. Okay, moving on to the next category. This is going to be for eyebrows. I feel like I thought I used up a lot more eyebrow products this year than I did. So anyway, I thought I had a lot more, but apparently I don't. So this one was from e.l.f. This is called their Instant Lift Brow Pencil. I did really like this one. I just felt like the color of this one it was okay when I was blonde, but the problem is that I find that especially when I do like my more gray toned kind of hair, every pencil that I use almost looks like really reddish in my eyebrows, and I've really noticed that with the last few videos that I've uploaded that my eyebrow color was not jiving with my hair color. And I just find that even ones that look super cool, when they're swatched, like when I'm actually wearing it in my brows and compared to like my grayer toned hair, it just does not work. So this one was really good when I had more of my blondie hair and stuff like that. I like that it has a little spoolie on the end here. I always kind of like having a little spoolie, but then I always feel a little wasteful because then you just throw this away when it's done. It's like, it's a perfectly good spoolie that just goes to waste. So I did really like this one. It was very, very affordable. I can't remember how much it was, but I feel like it was very reasonably priced. If they have more of like a gray toned one, I definitely want to check this out in the future. So I'd definitely get this again. Next is a more experimental, I would say, type of product for eyebrows. This is from Makeup Revolution, and this is, I don't know if they have a name. I think they just call it the eyebrow pen, and this one was in ash brown. So this one's very different because it almost has like this little type of, I don't know how to describe it. It almost reminds me of those cans of carpet cleaner that has like the brush head attached to it. If you know what I mean, that's basically what this looks like, but it's for your eyebrows. And then it's one of those little clicky pin ones. So there's like nothing left in this, so I can't even like do a little swatch for you. This one's good if you have a lot of brow hair already and you like the shape of it and you just want to fill it in. If you're trying to like kind of recreate your brow shape, this is definitely not the thing to go for. It's a little bit more of like a clear, not clear, but a transparent type of cream. And I found that it was good for like filling in the bulk of my brow, but I have very like light, sparse brows. So I kind of have to recreate the shapes a little bit more. And I just found that this wasn't the product for my type of brows because I just needed something a little bit more substantial, like a pencil or something like that to really kind of fill in and define my brows. So this one's good if you already have a lot of brow hairs and you just want to like even them out. But if you're kind of like recreating your brows, not the one I would go for. All right, and then the last eyebrow product I have, this is kind of an interesting product because I didn't quite use it for what it was intended for. So this is a Korean brand and I've had this one for a while, and it's called Secret Key Tattoo Eyebrow Tint Pack. So what this is intended to be, it is basically this thick, goopy, sticky, almost glue texture eyebrow gel dye, if that makes sense. So it comes with this little brush tip, and you brush it over your eyebrows in like a big thick layer, and you like leave it on for an hour, and it creates this little thin kind of film on your eyebrows, and it's supposed to tint and stain your eyebrows and the skin. And then you peel off that little bit of the dried gel and you're left with like tinted eyebrows. So the problem I had with this for using it for that purpose was that it did take a few of my actual eyebrow hairs with it, and honestly, it just wasn't that worth it for me to lose some eyebrows, and sometimes it'd be a little bit on the painful side, so I don't recommend it for that. But what I used to do, and I kind of want to start doing this again because I remember how I used to do this and I thought it was really cute, I would actually use this to do like a little beauty mark right here on my cheek. I would do one little dot overnight, and then you just let it sit all night. In the morning, you kind of peel off that little bit, and it would leave such a realistic looking like little beauty mark or like a little freckle. If you wanted to do a whole bunch of freckles with this, you probably could. I think it'd be a little bit time consuming though, because instead of like regular freckle products now that you just blend into the skin, you'd have to kind of like scrape up all these little gel pieces. But that's what I used it for the longest time, and I loved it for that. When I ran out of that, I stopped doing that, but I kind of want to go back to doing that cute little beauty mark because I thought it looked really cute on me. So that's how I use that. I don't think I'd purchase this again though, because there are other brands that I would like to try this from, and there's probably other things I could use that would do better, but this one actually did a really good job. I just don't think I'd go through the effort of trying to track down this product just because it'd be harder for me to find with it being like a K-beauty product. Okay, so moving on to the second to last category, this is lips. I only used up one lip product this year, you guys, which kind of blows my mind because again, I thought I used up a lot of lip products this year, but I did kind of switch back and forth a lot more than I think I realized this year between products, so that is why I don't have a lip product to really show other than this one. This was a mini lipstick. This was a Sephora birthday gift at some point in the last several years. This is the Bare Minerals lipstick in the color Honesty, and I actually really enjoyed this one. There's pretty much like nothing left, but it was just like a really standard, like nice kind of lip color that would go good on, I think, most people. It was very pretty. I loved the formula of it, and you guys, I can't believe how long this little lipstick sample lasted. A lot longer than you'd think, so I really enjoyed that one, but I have so many lipsticks. I would not purchase this one again, but I really liked it for what it was. Alright guys, and finally the very last product for all of the makeup products I've used up in 2023. This is going to be a setting spray, and this is from the brand Clean Color. This is called the Pro Sealer Makeup Setting Spray Luminous Finish. I many years ago did a like huge Clean Color haul, and this is one of the products that I got from it, and I remember this being very affordable, probably I would say definitely under maybe under $4, under $3 or something like that. I hated this one. I hated it. The spritzer on this one was horrible. It was not a fine mist. It would just like spritz on me, and I felt like I'd have these huge droplets all over my face. I felt like it ruined my makeup. I don't think I like the scent of it either. Yeah, it has a very strong rose scent, which I don't mind rose, but this one is so strong. It's kind of like old lady rose, and I just wasn't about this one. It was supposed to have a luminous finish, but it just kind of looked like it would put like just little drops of shimmer on my face, so hate this one, would never purchase it again. And that closes out every last product I have used in 2023. So I haven't been keeping it count, so let's go through really quickly. I will do a count of everything and let's see if I made my goals or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay, you guys, so that means I did meet my main goal of 23 makeup products used up in the year. I'm very, very happy with that. My bonus goal was 30, which was also the same number I did last year, but I don't think I actually met that goal last year either. I think the first 2 years, I think I did meet my bonus goal, so maybe I just need to like really buckle down and like commit to some I just forgot a product. Oh my god, I just forgot a product. And I just forgot it because I used it up today. I promise I'm not like throwing this in here to cheat or anything. I finally used this up this morning and I completely forgot to put it in here. So now this is the last product I have, which brings us to what, 27? 27, is that what I said? 27 products. Now, if this looks familiar from last year, yes, it is the same product, but last year I only counted the bronzer side because that was what I used up, and I still had a ton of the cream blush side left. I have finally used up the blush side as well, so I'm counting that as its own product because last year I only counted this side, so that makes 27. You guys, I actually really love this one. This is from e.l.f., the Contouring Blush and Bronzing Cream. This one was in the color St. Lucia. I don't know if they still sell these, but I loved these so much. They did last me an incredible amount of time. It's kind of crazy how long the blush lasted though, because like literally guys, I used up this last year. And I've still been using up this blush all year. And I'm pretty sure this is one blush I have been committed to the entire year. I mean, I might have had a couple here or there that I swapped in or out for like a time or two, but this has pretty much been the one that I have used all year, and it has lasted me so long. So we are adding that one to the count. 27 products that I used up this year. So unfortunately, I am 3 short of my bonus goal, but we did meet the main goal, so I'm very happy with that. Okay, so as far as my goal for next year, of course, you can probably sense a theme here. We are going to be setting a goal of 24 products used up in 2024, and let's just keep the bonus goal at 30. I feel like that's a good amount. I was trying to decide, should I lower it so that it's easier to reach, but I feel like that's just kind of like moving the goalpost too much, so I'm just gonna try harder and hopefully use up 30 products next year, but if we meet 24, we're good. So I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos because I have really loved doing these for the past several years. I feel like it has given me this year-long goal of trying to use up products because obviously I have a very large makeup collection, and hopefully this is just a little bit of motivation for you if you also have a large makeup collection, or even if you don't and you just like doing like Project Tin Pan or panning your makeup and using it all up. Hopefully this will be a little bit of motivation for you guys as well, because I love trying a lot of new products, but it definitely comes with a cost of having a lot of stuff, and I want to just be more focused on trying to still bring in new products but make really good efforts to use up older things that I already have, that I spent money on, and get my money's use out of it, because when you use up an entire product, I feel like you truly know whether you like it or not, whether you'd purchase it again or recommend it to a friend, and this is definitely one of those things where I am very proud of myself for using up 27 makeup products. I know for some people they use up way more in a year, and for some people they probably use up way less, and there's no right or wrong answer to it as long as you are using what you love or what you want to use up or getting your monies out of whatever you purchase. Either way, there are goals to be met, and I am just so glad that I met one of mine this year. So if you guys would like to join me and also work on using up 24 makeup products in 2024, then definitely join me. I would love to see your guys' videos at the end of the year and see what products you've used up as well, because it's just so rewarding knowing all of this didn't go to waste with the exception of 1 or 2 items, and I got my money's worth out of it. So it really hurts me whenever I can't use up a whole product, and even if I don't like a product, I will try to find different ways to use it, like with the eyebrow product. I didn't like it for my eyebrows, so I did it for beauty marks or freckles, and I was able to find a new way to use it, and it just made me feel good that I used it up without wasting the $10, $15 I spent on it or whatever it may be. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later.